Hi, I'm Monica Passanato-Forcelli, co-founder of ONECONCEPT. Welcome to this ONECONCEPT training video. At ONECONCEPT, we support your health, your clients, your business, and most of all, your planet. Our vision is to offer progressive healthcare providers the latest information on the best environmentally friendly products and healthy practices. By joining the One Revolution, you are able to meet the demands of enlightened clients who are insisting on treatments and products which will restore our one planet for our children and future generations. The ONECONCEPT family is inclusive, and we welcome environmentally conscious spas, clinics, massage therapists, yoga studios, and any other progressive healthcare provider. The benefits of joining ONECONCEPT include access to the newest green products and practices, an extensive marketing and network support program, and the training and education which will put you ahead of the competition. ONECONCEPT supports products, services, and manufacturers that are working towards becoming more environmentally conscious. The following video will supply you with the education and the knowledge needed to maximize the benefits of our wide selection of products. The video will ensure that you have the latest training on how to use these chosen ONECONCEPT products and educate your team and clients on the advantages of being environmentally conscious. As a leader in green healthcare, you have become a part of the solution which will lead to a healthier environment for your team, your clients, and ultimately your planet. ONECONCEPT, one planet, one solution. Enjoy the video. Hi, I am very excited to welcome Trish Green today, President of Eve Taylor North America, to the ONECONCEPT family. Welcome, Trish.
Thank you.
So nice to be here. It's so nice to have you here. We're going to learn today a little bit about Eve Taylor, her history, and her relationship to aromatherapy. And considering that Trish here is the expert on this, she's going to go ahead and give us a little bit of some information.
Thank you, Monica. And hello to everybody, and thank you for having me here today, Monica. And I'm very excited to be involved in this ONECONCEPT that Monica is about to launch across Canada and North America. So my job today as President of Eve Taylor North America is not only to introduce you to aromatherapy and how it's going to benefit you in your practice, but to introduce to you also Eve Taylor, the person.
Wonderful.
A wonderful, wonderful lady who has been practicing aromatherapy for 45 years. She's had her company in just north of London, England for 40 of those 45 years. And she currently owns and operates her business. She's still at the helm. She's still keeping a very tight handle on those three sons of her.
Now I hear she's into her, is it her 80s?
Yes, she's just coming up to 80 years of age. And she's still the tyrant that runs the company. And those boys seem to think they've got a handle on it, but you know, she's always got a finger on the pulse. To the point where she still makes all of the blends herself. So the blends that we are going to introduce to you through the ONECONCEPT, Eve Taylor, this wonderful dynamic lady that, by the way, has recently been knighted by the Queen for her work in aromatherapy and around the world, still makes those blends herself. She locks herself away in her treatment room. So this is not the average commercial product that you are going to experience here. These products are tried, true, and tested. They've been in the marketplace for 40 years. We're in 33 countries in the world and growing and expanding at a phenomenal rate. And it's going to be wonderful to have the ONECONCEPT group as a part of that fantastic expansion across North America.
Well, I'll tell you, it's wonderful to have you represent this line, this amazing line of product here in North America. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Yes.
And we look forward to sharing a little more information with Trish.
Thank you. As far as the company goes, I do want to tell you that quality control of these oils is very, very important. We are certified by the Aromatherapy Trades Council, which is one of the toughest quality control groups to get into in the world. We are actually one of a handful of companies that have this quality control attached to aromatherapy. And it actually subjects us to random quality control 3 times a year without warning. And when the inspectors do come in, we have to be able to step up to the plate and do what we need to do. We do some of the testing ourselves in the facility. We also, as is European law, we do have not only a doctor on our board, but we also have a trained chemist. So when our essential oils do come in from around the world, and we've had the same set of brokers, I mean, aromatherapy and essential oils come from plants. They are a stock commodity, just like you see, you know, on the stock exchange. So essential oils come to us through our brokers that have been with us for years. That's how we partially maintain our quality control, and that's really, really important. Our essential oils are organic, always have been, and in Europe that's a given. In North America, that's a little bit different. In North America, we feel that we have to put a label on them. But to use organic essential oils is a given in Europe. Aromatherapy is used holistically and medically. And so that quality control that we carry is very, very important. When the essential oils come in, as I said, we do some of our own testing. So we can, if at all, and rarely do we ever catch an issue with any of our product. From there, the blends are actually put together by Eve herself. And if you can imagine what a winery looks like, where the wine is sat in casks, this is what we do with our essential oils. And then, of course, that we go to town, we have our own filling machines.
Wow.
The boys, Eve's 3 sons, are very much in charge of the company. So it's very lovely in working with Eve Taylor that if we do have a problem or we want to add something to our line, I can pick up the phone anytime and speak directly to the family. If any of our customers ever have an issue, they have questions, we have the answers straight from the UK within a matter of a few hours.
This is a wonderful
very
experience.
Lovely to have.
You're not put on the phone, you're not talking with somebody who's somewhere else in the world that has really no direct connection. So that's something to say for sure.
I do want to add, I think, too, what's important to let our One Concept users know is that in terms of quality control and training, that when you do phone our office or that training is provided, and we've always got a qualified individual at the end of the phone to help you with your questions.
And this is one of the very important things of the One Concept is it's about the education, not just about the greener products and the more organic products, but it's about, like we said, the education and the training behind our products. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what aromatherapy is and why we should use it and why we should be incorporating it into our treatments. So let's start. Trish, please.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is probably the most important segment in understanding how aromatherapy works. If we go back in time, aromatherapy is actually a very ancient art. And it was only been since about 1960 that aromatherapy really took off in our current society. And we often refer to it as modern aromatherapy. It was the first time that essential oils, which we'll talk about momentarily, essential oils were brought out of the laboratory and into the treatment room. And we can thank Madame Moray for that, that wonderful lady that started the investigation into the science of aromatherapy. So what truly is aromatherapy? Well, of course, you've got the word therapy. As massage therapists, you know what therapy is. But of course, aroma is to do with your sense of smell. Our plants that we select, from which we extract all of our essential oils, are grown around the world in different climates. And we've got a whole group of different plants that we draw from. We can actually draw from the sap of the tree. We can actually use very exotic, beautiful flowers like rose and jasmine, lavender, geranium. I'm sure these are words that you have, heard. And many of our most beautiful oils that actually affect the emotions and the mind come from the flower of the plant. Very lovely. We actually use a lot of herbs. So back in the day, of course, with the Greeks and the Romans even going that far back, we were using a lot of herbal things, particularly Mediterranean type herbs. So everything from rosemary, black pepper, basil, all of those kinds of herbs, anything that you'd find within cooking. So very exciting. So what we do is we take all of these plants and we extract from them a very powerful concentrate that the plant actually produces. And the plant produces essential oils, and a lot of scientists really like to equate those oils to being the equivalent of our hormones.
Well, it's funny you're saying scientists, because I know most people just think of aromatherapy, like you said, just for smell or for something very pretty in a treatment room. And I've, by reading and understanding aromatherapy, you do really have to get into a science. It's a lot more complex. So the scientists, what do they say about?
Well, I think what we've got to remember that aromatherapy is not just about the smell. Obviously, with aromatherapy, smell is a very big part of it. But aromatherapy is truly a science, and it is studied in laboratories around the world. It's not something that you just choose to diffuse into your room, or any poor quality oil that you choose to put on your client's skin. It is very much an exact science. However, what you're going to learn as we go along, and I don't want people to be overly concerned about that, is that we have taken the hard work out of it. And what we've done is we've put these beautiful oils into ready-made blends that you can use to ensure the outcome of your treatment. What we've got to remember when we are taking these plant extracts is that they are concentrates. So what you'll see today, Monica, as we do get to the demonstration, is how little we actually use of the product. We've got to remember that these products are concentrates. And also remember what I was saying. How do we select our blends? Well, those extracts are produced by the plant, almost like we produce our hormones. So if we think about why we produce our hormones, we produce our hormones for protection, reproduction, to help us cope with infection. Plants do exactly the same thing. So if we take a look at jasmine and rose, for instance, the flowers give off a very pungent smell, and the flower is absolutely bright and exotic to draw the bees to actually pollinate. So those two plants in particular are very much to do with reproduction, and we use them for pregnancy and fertilization, etc., etc. When we take a look at rosemary and thyme, we take a look at the essential oils they produce that keep the animals away, that protect them. So we use rosemary and thyme for our immune system. We use essential oils as antiseptics. We can use them for pain relief. So it's very interesting how the plant world actually produces these chemicals, and how we can equate what the plant uses it for, and how therefore we can translate that and how we can use it on our body. It's quite fascinating.
And human beings really have no problem with the absorption or taking in the aromatherapy. You'll probably talk a little bit later on how we'll take the AromaCare in, but we have no issues because they're so similar, like the human form and also plant form.
You're absolutely correct. The chemistry of these concentrates is from biochemistry. In other words, their chemistry is very much like our own. Essential oils are also what we call liposolvent, and that means they can penetrate very nicely into the body, which is why we need to have them organic. We're going into the epidermis and to the dermis, and eventually we're getting into the bloodstream. So I come back to that quality control again, and reminding you that you are using a concentrate, and they're going to have a very powerful effect on the body because simply of how they penetrate.
Amazing. So we just found out that essential oils are liposolvent, and they will enter the skin readily. But are there any other ways other than through the skin that essential oils can be absorbed into the body for treatments?
Yeah, we have to remember that this is aromatherapy, and it is therefore about sense of smell. And being one of your five senses, it is actually the strongest of your five senses. And we know again from science that you will actually remember anything that you smelt for many, many, many years. And when you're using the essential oils in the spa and your client smells them, she'll go, oh, that reminds me. And it's usually something in their childhood. So you remember something that you have smelt long after something you've seen or touched or tasted. So we have to use that to our advantage. It's very, very important. But it also indicates to us that the smell that we give to our clients, they have to like and to enjoy. And it's usually what they need at that point. So from breathing in an essential oil, if you've got a diffuser or something that we call a nebulizer going in your room that will be available to you through the ONECONCEPT, which is important, you can have that going in your room. So I always joke very lovingly that once the client's getting changed, she's actually starting the treatment without me, because the response of just smelling the essential oils, the impact on the brain is actually immediate.
Yes.
And it's literally in one split second. If we've got an essential oil burning in the room, that can be sedating, calming, or stimulating, or uplifting, or balancing, which is our preference, the client is going to have a very immediate, subtle effect, and she doesn't even realize she's actually started the treatment.
Amazing.
Just because there's something going in the diffuser. So that effect affects our nervous system. It can affect, and I know as therapists listening out there, you'll know what I mean by the sympathetic nervous system, to stimulate and to get everything moving, or the parasympathetic system to actually calm your client when she comes in very much in a stress mode.
And it wouldn't be amazing to already calm a client and not even have touched them.
Correct. And that's the power of aromatherapy. It's absolutely fantastic. Where we're going to focus, of course, particularly in our seminar today, is we're going to focus on using the blends on the skin. We're going to discover in a few minutes that, in fact, and remember we said that the essential oils are liposolvent. Now, the time frame for them to get into the skin is quite different from smelling. Remember, smelling is instant. We have a lot of factors that can actually influence the time frame for absorption when we put them on the skin. It's a very different way of using the essential oils. So the time frame for the absorption and the efficacy of the essential oils on the skin is anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. And it depends on the size and weight of your client, which essential oils you're using, the temperature of the room. So we've got a lot of factors to consider, but of course we're going to look at that in the whole training. And these blends that we're going to look at very, very shortly are everything from analgesic for painkillers. We're going to look at combinations for stress. We're going to look at combinations for detoxifying the body, and the age-old problem of edema. So many women with their fluid retention issues, and people who are stood on their feet. So we want to look at what I like to call occupational hazards with our client, because we've got essential oils in our blends to be able to help them with that. And the fact that they take anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours for the blends to truly get into the skin, we've got to remember that that doesn't take away from the immediate effect when we put them on the skin.
Well, it's like we're actually extending our treatment. So we're starting a treatment without even putting our hands on the client, and then even hours after they've left, they still have a treatment going on.
The treatment is still going on.
Wonderful.
Up to about 5 hours after the treatment has taken place. And we're also going to have a look as we go along about being able to have the client take something home that they can use in the morning and in the evening. Because don't forget, this is also about your business.
Yes.
And we want to be able to incorporate and boost your business. That's the whole concept around this.
This is the whole
Absolutely,
concept
yes.
of One Concept. It's to help our therapists, help our progressive health professionals make the most out of their treatments. This is what we're doing. And we are so fortunate again to have someone like Trish Green to be able to give us the information and the education on the Eve Taylor oils. Coming up is the blends. So what I love personally about these blends is that it takes all the guesswork out of everything, because I know there's probably many therapists out there that are taking an essential oil and putting it on the skin neat, and maybe potentially causing more damage, because I think a lot of therapists forget that essential oils are very potent.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
And that's why I love the blends, and I know you're going to describe to us right now on what it is about the blends that makes them so effective and so amazing and so easy to use.
Absolutely. Okay, I think the first thing that we've got to remember is that it does take training to use essential oils, particularly the single oils, and how to put them together. And often, I know when a lot of the students are beginning to learn aromatherapy, on paper a blend actually works, but when they put it in the bottle, it's like, oh my goodness me, what went wrong with that? Yeah. So what we've had done here is the expert Eve herself has put these blends together, not only to improve the outcome of your treatments, not only to give you a great smell, but to have you working safe as well. So when you do get into aromatherapy and you want to go forward with the training, it's great. So if we were to take a look at our blends, what we've got to remember is the blends come in two forms, and this part is really important. When we first made these blends, we made them for the progressive health therapist that wanted a guaranteed improvement or outcome for her treatment. So your professional blends, just like the one I have in my hand, and don't get upset or misconstrued about the size of this blend. There's a lot of treatments in here. There's about 40 treatments in here. Because remember I said essential oils are very concentrated. We don't need a lot of product. That makes them very efficient to use. You're actually looking at about $1 per treatment.
Incredible.
And for spending $1 for increasing the outcome of your treatments, that's just wonderful. So what you've got in this bottle of professional oils is a blend that is, let's call it extra strength. That when the client gets up off the table, she's going to feel different, and she's going to know that she had an aromatherapy treatment. Or he, absolutely. And you know what? We can't forget the children in that as well.
No, you're right.
Because certain ones of our blends are very suitable for children. So let's take that right across the board. But then what we also have, besides our treatment blend, that is to be used for treatment once, maybe twice a week, is that you'll see on the display in front of me here, that this size that we have, and I'll show you one, this is actually a tester unit that you actually get being involved with the ONECONCEPT. And because, why do we do that? It's really important that the client can get a smell and touch and feel of your essential oil of choice, that they like the smell. And this is the size that your client would take home for use. And this size is also a slightly lower potency of blend. Because when we tell Mrs. Smith to use only 5 drops on her body,
I'm thinking she might go for 10.
She's not going to get that, you know, a small amount really works, and she's going to double that. So again, we're working safe, we're taking care of our therapist liability, but we're going to be effective with our blends. So lastly, the last point that we need to remember here is the only thing in this bottle is a synergy, that is a grouping of essential oils that have come together chemically in the bottle to create that result that we require, blended in what we call organic cold pressed carrier oils. Cold pressed carrier oils you would be familiar with, not unlike massage, sweet almond oil, avocado, soya oil, jojoba. Very important. There's no additives, no preservatives. The reason being is you've got to remember these are going to go into the skin. So that quality control and what we're putting in the bottle is really important.
So now we get into the juicy part. We're going to talk a little bit about the blends. We're first going to talk about 10, 11, and 12, and I'm going to keep that a secret and then allow Trish to tell you what that's all about. Now these blends obviously are going to be one of our first forms of education for the ONECONCEPT, so very excited. Trish, let's go, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, thank you. First of all, people say to me, well, why the number? Do you know, I've never got an answer out of the woman.
You know what?
I have no idea why, but we do go by number. So we're going to start with number 10.
Great.
Very quickly, because this is not a full training video, we're going to give you a little taste of what we do have to offer for you as ONECONCEPT members. So the first blend, we want to have a blend, we call it number 10, it's for stress and relaxation.
Beautiful.
Right? And we want to have a blend that is safe for everybody to use. And I know as progressive healthcare therapists out there, you run into so many different issues with your patients and your clients every day.
I think with relaxation, it's probably, even if you have another specific treatment, even treating with that blend, you're still ahead of the game.
Absolutely. And with our clients who are trying to become pregnant, female clients that may be menstruating at the time, clients on long lists of pharmaceuticals, any of those kinds of things, we refer to number 10 as our relaxation blend and our safe blend. You can't go wrong with it. There are no contraindications to it at all.
Wonderful.
We're then going to go on to number 11. And number 11, we say, is for detoxification. And I want to give you a little clue. Some of the training that we do involves a lot of Chinese medicine. And blend number 11 is very geared to detoxification, detoxification of excess fluid.
Well, you know, in the last 2 years, the word detoxification just keeps coming up, So number 11.
Number 11, but also what we've got to remember is that the kidneys are the guardian to your eliminations. Your kidneys functioning well are as important as your heart. So this particular blend functions and is attracted to the kidneys, to clean out the kidneys and to get it moving, but also for your standard lymphedema. It's for your clients that are stood all day or have a faulty lymph system. People sat all day, and in this world of computers, you know, they're not up and down from the desk all the time.
Absolutely.
So body shape is changing, and we're not detoxifying, we're not exercising like we should.
So would a client be able to bring it to work with them, and maybe at lunch break, maybe put it on? I know you're going to be showing us where they would be using the blend.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Just a short note too, I do want to add a very important point. For those of you with aging parents at home, number 11 is wonderful, particularly when they're bedridden and not very mobile, and they get all those swollen ankles. And for those of you who spend a lot of time in the air, on aircraft, in those little cramped seats, so yeah, you're going to find a lot of great stuff with number 11. Okay, wonderful. So that brings us to number 12. And number 12 blend is to stimulate. So we've relaxed, we've detoxified, now we're going to stimulate. So we do advocate this blend for our athletes, for our busy women on the go that, you know, have presentations in the evening to do, that long day that sometimes we have to put in by the time we've dealt with the kids and done everything that we need to do, you know, trade shows and things. Yeah.
I remember my first experience when you had us used stimulation that day, and you said make sure you don't use this later than 2 o'clock in the afternoon unless you want to be up all night. Well, I think it was around 1 o'clock, and I got to tell you, that evening I was like flying. It was wonderful. So it gave me a lot of energy. And normally by the end of the day we are crashing. We do a lot of work. But my own experience, amazing. Amazing.
We sell a lot to athletes. You know, the guys playing hockey at some ridiculous silly time on the ice rink at night.
Even the old timers, 10 o'clock, 11
got to get going. But we've been very involved recently with the Ironman community that are doing these full triathlons where they're swimming and riding and biking. So number 12 is excellent for that, and they get a lot of stimulation. It pumps the blood and it gets them going. So a great oil for the athletes in your practice. It's great. Thank you.
10, 11, 12. So let's move on to 301, 302, and 303.
We call these the specifics. When Eve developed these blends, obviously 10, 11, 12 came first, and we often ask her what happened to, you know, 13 to 300. But anyway, she jumped into 301. And these we call the specifics because they are actually to target specific areas and conditions.
Makes sense.
So 301 is a very important oil. And remember the athletes we talked about at the end of the last segment? Well, of course, when they've done all of their sports, usually, you know, these baby boomers and these old guys that are doing that, they're hurting all over from head to toe when they're finished. So this is where 301 clicks in. So for you, the progressive health therapist, we want to look what 301 is. We call it an analgesic. It's for pain relief. So you can use it topically in particular target areas, the knees, the elbows. If your client comes in looking and has back pain, shoulder pain, put on a heat pack, you'll penetrate the oil very, very nicely. But you can do a full treatment with it, and it's those clients with fibromyalgia that you can actually use this whole blend with and get a fabulous outcome. It's great.
Well, you mentioned heat. Can you also use it in conjunction with cold pack?
Yes, you could.
Okay,
because it's for joints and for tissues.
Wonderful.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Nice to know.
So let's go on to 302. Now, in the last segment again, we looked at number 11, which is for detoxification, and we looked at the kidneys. Now we want to take a look at those deeper toxins that get stored in the fat tissue. For women listening out there, you'll lovingly know it as cellulite. And of course, if we look at what cellulite is, it's adipose tissue, it's water, it's stored toxins. So we need to be able to have something a little bit stronger to be able to drain those things out of the body. So this particular blend not only works on stimulating the lymph system, but also for moving those stubborn toxins and moving them now. We're going to detox the liver. We've got a lot of citrus oils in there. We've got a high dose of fennel in there that acts almost like a bowel cleanser, like a laxative. And we've also got some juniper berry in there for cleansing the kidneys. So this is truly a deep detoxification geared to your clients who may be starting on a new diet, want to detox, lose weight, that kind of thing. But always remember the golden rule, which we'll repeat in training, and that is we have to remove the excess fluid first. Very
and that
important.
Comes with, obviously, the training.
Absolutely.
Just to know when these blends are easily and readily used. Okay?
The last one in these 6 blends is 303, and this is to target skin conditions. So we get a lot of complaints, particularly about scars, stretch marks. As long as the stretch marks are pink, as long as the scar is new and fresh, we can actually facilitate proper healing with that. Believe it or not, 303 is actually a face and body blend. So post Medi-Spa, you know, when your clients had some rejuvenation and a little nip and tuck, we can use it on that. But also on our mature clients. I know, if I go back years, and I'm kind of really showing my age now, but we didn't know what sunscreens were, we didn't use them. And being a phys ed teacher for many years and being in the sun, you get a little bit fried out there. So for those women that have been in the sun, or those men that have been in the sun, we can actually use this to facilitate improvement and regeneration and rejuvenation in the skin. So again, it's very specific and a very lovely blend, face and body.
301, 302, 303. All right, so let's talk about the face oil blends.
The face oil blends we have included here in our tester unit. As you can see, there's this small collection here at the front. And what we did in including a face oil, we have to go back to remember that essential oils change the skin, and we are talking about the sense of smell. And I'm always joking with my students and say, well, why does your nose stick out from your face? When all your other senses are actually set back within cavities. Your sense of smell is a warning system, but it's also to savor those fabulous smells and delights. And I often like to take an essential oil blend and hold it over the client's nose before we even start the treatment, so they get that immediate impact of aromatherapy. But sometimes as progressive healthcare therapists, we want to change our treatments up. I think so often we get into the same rut with our treatment day after day, treatments back to back all the time. So sometimes it is very nice and it's very relaxing to actually work on the face. And with actually launching, as we see in the next training video, the beautiful one, and we're looking a little bit at skincare for your Concept One users program. This is another place that we can actually use the essential oil face blends and facilitate that side of the business and what we do. So I'm only going to give you a brief overview, but what you will see in the next segment that follows, which is the demonstration, you will actually see me do a small mini treatment on the face, which is very quick and easy for you to learn. And it's a nice way to finish off a massage therapy treatment just by adding something a little bit different for your client.
Well, I can't tell you how many times since we have started using Beautiful One and the Eve Taylor blends into our practice, my clients, I can't believe the response just by doing the quickest, miniest facial treatment. It just makes them so happy, and it takes all of maybe 5 minutes, and we get to sit down.
And I think what we've got to remember here, client loyalty and building your business, and one of these treatments is going to cost you about 30 cents.
Amazing.
So is 30 cents too big of a cost, to build your client loyalty and go that extra mile and do that add-on treatment at the end?
That's the one concept.
The whole philosophy. So very quickly, because we're not going to spend too long on them, just to let you know what is coming, we have our #1 blend, which is for dehydrated skin. But it's for those clients who smoke, who have sinus congestion or allergies, because it's going to drain the sinuses and drain the skin. Our #2 oil is for those clients who experience excess redness on their skin. So whether it's post-treatment, post-facial waxing, sunburn, or you've got those natural broken capillaries in your face and your skin is always red, #2 is excellent. Number 3 is an oil for acne. We do promote that very much to our teen users. But of course we know that mature women now are getting mature acne as a result of perimenopause and hormonal imbalance. So it's becoming very much used in that department as well. Number 4 and 5 here on our display are both moisturizers, and one is to maintain and balance the client that's usually anywhere from 30 to 45, and then our number 5 is a skin regenerator for our menopausal client, particularly as estrogen levels are dropping. So a nice add-on to your client, and again another aspect of what you can retail in your business to improve your bottom line and actually make your business a success.
That's Eve Taylor Facial Oils. So now we're going to get to the demonstrations, but before we do that, we need to discuss the difference between a massage treatment with the essential oils, or the blends, and an aromatherapy treatment with the essential oils.
Yes, so a massage treatment or massage therapy is what you do. And you can continue to practice your techniques as trained in college and now in your practice, and incorporate the blends with what you do. For instance, a 301 to relieve pain, or a number 10 for relaxation. But that is not an aromatherapy treatment. So I say again, that is an aromatherapy massage. It's a massage with essential oils. What we're going to proceed to do, Monica, is to show you a little glimpse of what a true aromatherapy treatment looks like. And what I want you to keep in the back of your mind when you do this is massage therapists have a shorter life in the industry from the wear and tear on the body. We do actually currently train a lot of massage therapists in this aromatherapy treatment. It is a holistic treatment. It affects mind, body, and spirit. And we can use the blends for what they were designed for, everything from detoxification and pain to a tissue treatment. So we're going to give you a glimpse into a whole different world, and to let you know that as One Concept members, you can have this treatment available to you as extra training and included on your service menu. It's easier on the body, it's not going to hurt your joints quite as much, and yet you're going to be able to offer a very effective treatment. So I'm going to begin the demonstration by showing you how little product we actually use. Remember, these essential oils are concentrates.
Yes.
They're very powerful. You are used to using quite a bit of product to get your slip and slide and to move over the muscles and to manipulate and palpate the muscles. This is very different. This is actually a lymph drainage massage. So you're going to see me working only on the center channel at the back of the legs. So in this short demonstration, I'm going to show you a few moves that we do on the back of the legs. And what you'll see also that's very different from massage therapy is we only use the outside area of our hand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because essential oils can be absorbed too rapidly through the palm. So there's no palm contact like in an effleurage typically in massage therapy. So we're going to do a little bit on the legs. I'm going to do a little bit on the back, and you'll see how totally different it is. And then we're going to turn our client over, and I'm going to give you a quick facial demonstration, just again, a different way that you can add that extra service into your treatment menu or as a value-added service to build client loyalty in your treatment practice.
Wonderful.
So that's what we're going to do. Now, with my client here today, who has very gracefully volunteered for us, I'm actually going to use the number 10. And I'm going to use the number 10 because I don't have a health history on my client today. So if you remember from the training video earlier, number 10 is our safe oil. So obviously in your practice before beginning an aromatherapy treatment, a very comprehensive health history is really, really important before you choose the correct blend of essential oils. So what I'm going to do, I'm using my number 10. You'll see it comes in a pump, in a spray. So what I'm going to do is put one pump on the back of each calf and one pump on the back of each thigh. And using my fingertips only, I'm going to spread the oil up and down the leg, and then I'm going to begin work. So reaching out across the bed, using my finger pads, one small pump of oil is all I need. Anything else is a waste. Onto this thigh here. Or should I say this calf here, and then the thigh. And then anything that I have left on my fingers, I can actually put on the soles of the feet. And remember, the soles of the feet are actually a mirror image of all of those meridians and different organs within the body. So one of the things we do in a massage, in an aromatherapy treatment, is we do work the feet as well. So it's a very different kind of treatment that's really quite lovely. Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you to be my assistant this time, if you could hold the oil.
Thank you.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is proceed with my treatment, and you'll see I'm only going to use heel of hand. I might use my thumbs, my palmar pad, and my finger pads. So I'm going to begin, and what I'm doing basically is driving the lymph forward, up through the popliteals in the back of the knee towards the inguinals. And it's a very light touch. I'm sure you can see by my body posture. There's no stress. I'm not working hard. And the key is, with this particular treatment, you should be as relaxed as your client by the time you finish, because don't forget, it's aromatherapy. You're smelling the oils, and even though they're in your treatment room, not necessarily on your body, you are actually absorbing those oils, and you are getting a response from those oils through the nasal cavity and then through your skin. So again, you can see it's nicely slow moving. A lot of women really like this treatment because it's not heavy, and it's deceivingly relaxing, very deceivingly relaxing. People get up and they go, oh my goodness me, what was that you just did? That was wonderful.
I should have been the person on the table.
Maybe you should, yes. Maybe next time. Video number 2. And so we're very gently moving the lymph. Remember, this is just a quick glimpse. I'm doing the short version here for you. So just a quick glimpse to show you some of the work and how different it is from the standard effleurage and muscle manipulation that we use in standard massage therapy. And again, without moving around the side of the bed, I'm simply going to reach across to take the pressure off my body. I can move my client's leg a little bit closer to me. There should be no strain on the body at all. And again, just using my palmar pad. If you observe my hand, you'll see there's no contact with my fingers. I'm only using my thumb and the heel of my hand. The only time I actually move in this treatment is to move to the end, so I'm not twisting my back. And you'll notice another big difference. My thumb tips are up. In massage therapy, a lot of the time you're using your thumbs to get that deep tissue movement. In an aromatherapy treatment, we don't do that. It's really very, very quite different. And everything is geared to emptying the main lymph channel. And remember, the lymph system is part of your immune system. If your lymph system is clogged, then the immune system, all of the lymph nodes in your body, just simply can't do their job. They can't empty out those toxins, those bacteria. They can't gear them towards the organ of elimination at all. So it's a very important part of your health treatment. So you can use this treatment for relaxation. You can use it for detoxification. You can use it, do a treatment once a month just for general health. It works beautifully well with clients who want to do weight loss and just generally start to clean out their body. So very, very profound. You'll find, and I'll put it quite politely, that all eliminations do increase from anything that you would consider an eliminatory. Yeah, that word too. Organ. So that includes the skin, of course, as well as just going to the bathroom on a daily basis.
So we are now doing the aromatherapy treatment.
Yes. Okay. And it's very, very different. A wonderful therapy for you to include on your service menu to give you something else to offer, protect your body, to work safely, and to benefit the well-being of your clients. That's what aromatherapy is.
So now let's move on to the back.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is apply my oil to the back. And again, using my finger pads, I'm just going to apply the oil to the spine. Now, there's a reason why. We actually take the back in an aromatherapy treatment and we look at it very similarly to the way a chiropractor might look at it. That's my assistant, thank you. And we look at the back in terms of 7 zones. So we look at the back in terms of stress and tension. Zones 2 and 3 are where our lungs sit. We have we lovingly call the wine and dine area, where we have the stomach and the liver and the pancreas. Zone 5, we're back to the kidneys and the guardian of elimination. Number 6, underneath my hands, is the uterus and reproductive section. And Zone 7 is the excretory section. Now, this is a quick overview of some of the specialty training that we do. And when we actually work on the back, I'm not going to be able to show you in this video the way that we work up the spine, but what we get are skin color changes in the spine. And the skin, believe it or not, and it's a little hard to understand until you actually see it, the skin will only change color and go red in the areas where there is an imbalance in that particular area. So it gives us a lot of clues when we start to look at the analysis. We also look at the skin, and when we talk to nurses, they tell us very strongly that when we look at the back, there is no accident where brown marks position themselves on the skin. And our model here is actually a classic example in Chinese medicine. We talk about the kidneys as the guardian to the eliminations, but the lungs are mother to the kidneys. So there's a very strong relationship, and we use a lot of family relationships in the organs in Chinese medicine. And we will see that she has a brown mark over the lung area, and we have a brown mark over the kidney area as well. So that's perfectly normal. And nurses tell us, you know, this phenomenon exists every day, so it's quite interesting. So we do some moves on the back that are releasing the erector spinae. We're not working on the spine. We're working down the side of the spine to release some of those muscles. But again, compared to massage therapy, it's very gentle. And again, you can see how relaxed my hands are. There's not a hard work going on. You're not working up a big sweat. Very, very different technique. It is. We do techniques where we do apply pressure. This is a slightly different technique that we use. Where we're pulling and pushing, almost using our thumbs like an iron on an ironing board to move out and stretch the spine. So we've got moves like that. We move into a second zone where we start to pick up the skin tissue, where the body stores toxins underneath the skin. We want to release those toxins underneath the skin, because remember, this is lymph drainage. We'll do a whole segment on that. Then we'll do, you know, drainage type moves, because what we want to do is move those toxins out, and then we do some fan-like actions. So everything to do with the back is to do with drainage, it's to do with stirring up the toxins, and from there we actually do some work on the neck, and then we enter finally into the relaxation phase of the treatment, where we do a scalp massage. Very lovely, and it's at this point that your client actually really does go to sleep. So very different, super treatment, absolutely great. What we're going to finish off with momentarily is by showing you a little bit of facial work.
Wonderful. Let's move on to the face.
So we're going to give you a quick demonstration. So again, just to review, this is something that you can add on to your massage type treatment, particularly at the end. You could also do it at the beginning to actually relax the client, but it's also a nice way to finish the treatment. So either or, depending on which client you've got on the bed. Now, I have already placed some oil. I chose the number 1 oil, and I have placed it on my client's face. So I am actually going to now do a demonstration again of a few different types of moves. Some of you may recognize the moves if you have done Voda's lymph drainage treatments, because a lot of these moves use exactly that kind of super, super light pressure. And remember, when it comes to doing the treatment in its entirety, we are in the relaxation phase of the treatment. So we want to remember to put our own body into that mode as well, because don't forget, as you know, as therapists, we give off energy, we exchange energy when we're touching somebody. So I'm now going to do a few movements, and you can see the kind of work that we do. So we open the facial with a simple press release movement, and you'll see that there is no movement of the skin. This one is simply working on 2 meridians that come up from the eyebrows over the back of the head. I would then take that same one, I'm going to do a stroking action, but again, there is no movement of the skin. It's so relaxing. Again, starting to drain the sinuses. Of course, we've got the sinuses here above the eyebrows. And you'll notice I've got my fingers placed. I've not got my fingers all over my client's face. That's really uncomfortable. So here, I'm simply doing that press release move, and I'm draining down to the ears. because eventually what we're going to do is we're going to open up these main channels that come down the sternocleic mastoid into what we call the central terminus down here at the top of the clavicle. So again, starting to drain the sinuses. And often what you see with this treatment, which we probably won't be able to see on camera, or we won't be doing enough moves, but what we get is a pumping action at the base of the neck. So you can actually physically see the lymph channels starting to drain. We do a little bit of sinus drainage, particularly above the cheeks and below the cheeks, but right now I'm just kind of building everything. And of course I'm moving quite quickly because it is a demonstration. And because I did place the oil a little earlier, she has absorbed a lot of the oil. Now obviously if your client's on the bed and I'm using number 1 for sinus drainage, you're going to increase your repetitions here. Very important that you meet the needs of your client. And of course massage therapy can't always take care of those sinuses and those other little things. So this is a great way to be able to do your treatment. We're going to drain the lymph nodes under the chin, again to that central point in the ear, and then we can join them together. Now these aren't all the steps, remember, this is just a little teaser that we hope will encourage you to come out and learn this wonderful Eve Taylor technique, because it was designed by Eve and is taught around the world. Fabulous treatment. And we would conclude our facial by draining the lymph all the way down the sternocleic mastoid very slowly. And we are getting a little action here. We are starting to get a little pumping down in the neck. You'll often see your clients swallowing at this point. And we do a little pumping on the central terminus points, the gathering point for all of the upper drainage channels. We're going to do a little relaxation and push the shoulders down. And as I draw this to a close, by coming underneath her neck and then underneath, lifting her head, keeping the spine straight. And you can see by my body position, which isn't very gainly at this point, I'm quite sure, but my weight is back and I'm actually putting a small amount of pressure and just extending the neck and stretching the neck out. A lovely addition to the treatment. We can teach you this in about 4 hours in class. So it makes a nice single class, something that you can add new for your clients. And that's it. There's a face.
So again, I want to thank Trish Green from Eve Taylor Essential Oils for coming out today and showing us one of our treatments for ONECONCEPT. Give us a recap, Trish, for what we can do with essential oils in our treatment.
Okay, well, we've learned about safety. We want to work safely, so we're working with blends. We want to work with quality essential oils. We want to work with essential oils that have a good quality assurance background behind them. We want to increase our bottom line. It's all about business and sales and being successful. So we want to add maybe a little something new to your repertoire, and to increase, above all, to increase the well-being of your clients by including aromatherapy oils in your treatments. And Monica, I want to thank you. I've really enjoyed today. It's been great. And I look forward to meeting some of the new clients that you bring into the ONECONCEPT. It's very exciting philosophy. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.